Hi everyone, welcome back again to Spiritual Growth Tarot. Thank you for being with me. And this reading is going to be for Saturday, January 16th, 2021. So 3 cards to help us on our way and to help come back home to who we truly are. Okay, so well, this is interesting. Okay, so let's get these out of the way because I can see what I'm going to need to do here. We have the Ace of Wands reversed for the theme. And we have the Sun reversed and the Hanged Man straight up. So on one level, with the Ace of Wands reversed, we're in a place of having probably some type of a delay. Feels like more of a delay than anything else. Sometimes it's a missed opportunity. Sometimes it's an outright rejection, because straight up there's a lot of passion. There's a lot of life force that comes through. So when it's reversed, it can often be the opposite of that. Now, because it's an ace, I can't use the technique where you go to the card, prior to, because, this is the one just starting out. And, I don't know, unless you went to like the Knight of Wands. I don't know. That kind of doesn't make sense in this particular situation with this combo. So I'm just going to go with just a delay. It feels more like a delay. Now with the Sun reversed, this sometimes can be a health issue because, this card is all about our vital life force. And when it comes through reversed, this can be, some issue if it's on the health level. Now, if it's not on the health level, then it might be an issue with one of our kids, because traditionally, let me show you here, in the traditional Rider-Waite, it's a little boy on a horse. Hold on, here we go, yeah. See, the little boy. So sometimes it's with our children. It can also be, when it's reversed, it can be our playful spirit. There's some holding ourselves back from our playful spirit. It can sometimes be that you've lost someone important to you, or maybe even feeling a little depressed. So, but the key, the answer, as always, is to connect with your own light. Find your own inner strength. Connect deeply with your authentic, real self. And then you can turn it around. Now, on another level, if I use the technique, one of the reverse techniques is to go back to the previous card. And, of course, that would bring in the moon. So, because this is number 19, and then we have number 18 here. So if we went backwards, let's try this here. If we went backwards into the moon energy, that has us in a place sometimes where we are, maybe we've been deceived. Maybe we're in some type of an illusion. I always like to look at the two, I don't know if one's a wolf and one's a dog. I don't know. It's hard to tell here. Well, let's just say they're both 2 dogs. But we have a lobster, which is like the old primordial energy. That's the energy and consciousness of mass consciousness that we all pick up on. So we can all pick up on fear that's kind of moving across the planet. Maybe, because we are in this time of losing so many people to the coronavirus, to the pandemic. Maybe somebody is really ill, or you're afraid of losing them. It can definitely be that. But going back to the two, doggies or wolves or whatever, here, notice there's this pathway, and this gateway. So the message is about taking the middle way and becoming aware of any unconscious fears. Because this card is all about honoring all the unconscious material so that it doesn't control your life anymore. Because whatever we're unconscious of, it controls our lives. Because we're trying to make everything conscious so that we can deal with it and reclaim our power, reclaim our light. Because when this card's straight up, it's all about happiness and joy and good health, because your life force, your vitality flows freely. So, if this isn't about anyone in your life who is ill that you're worried about, then this can be, with this combo here, can be to free yourself and not worry about finances, not worry about anything, because if we're constantly worried about something, then we're bringing a lot of power and life force to the worry. And that will just lead us down the road that we don't want to go. That keeps us stuck, in the primordial old energy. Where people didn't know, back in the days where people didn't know that they created their own reality. And I always look at, years and years ago when I did personal training, I worked out with this wonderful gal, and she, I don't know why we were talking about worry. I have no idea why we were in that conversation, but here we are working out, and she says, "Well, I know if I'm worrying about money, I'm not working hard enough." So she knew how to train herself to not even go there, instead to just work on whatever it is that you want. So it can be that because there was a delay of some funds that would help your life, maybe there's a delay that you've gotten into a little worry, and that's taking you down the path of illusion. And to not to worry about it is the deal. Really, just not to notice the fears that come up, but then remember the good old acronym, fear stands for false evidence appearing real, and know that fears come from the past. Unless it's a real fear, like, oh goodness, there's a crazy car coming around the corner, and you suddenly know to get out of the way. If you're on the road and you suddenly have, well, usually if that happens, something like that happens, you have the instinctual wherewithal to just move in a different direction, and you're not there at that time. But life on Earth is messy. And no one's perfect, and things can be very challenging. So, but to stay in the fear of worrying about the future brings us into a place of, it's like an illusion, and it's a place where we're not productive. Sometimes too, especially when this is reversed. This can be, because this card is very creative. It's the highest energy card in the entire deck, and you can see that with the colors. And so, deep down inside of who we truly are, we are creators. So when this comes through reverse, sometimes we're having a little trouble with our creative inspiration. Combined here with the moon. So this would be the guidance, it would be to go to your creative inspiration, that's your best guide, and your intuition is your best guide. And also to pay attention to your dreams and any psychic hits that you get, because they're opening. And then the delay won't be so bad. Like maybe it's a wonderful delay so that you can surrender to your creative spirit, and you can surrender to your intuition and your psychic abilities, to guide you, to help you with the timing. Because this is nothing more than just a little delay. But this, to go here, to go to the Hanged Man, that can be a real turning point. Because you're looking at things from all different angles. And you're questioning, okay, well, what about another way? Or you're questioning, is this really true? Because maybe there was a false belief back here about your creativity that has made you kind of stop and go, oh, wait a minute, hold on. And then your higher self comes through and says, well, wait a minute, let's look at it from another angle. Because this card is very much about advancing, spiritually. It follows the Justice card. It's in between the Justice card, which is, the gateway of knowing that you create your own reality. And life is 100% fair in that, it's not perfect, of course. It's kind of that paradox of not being perfect. But it is fair. Most people believe life isn't fair. I just don't think that's true at all. I think life is 100% fair. We just are challenged sometimes with how to work with it. Because the Justice card, previous to this card, is all about truth and clarity and life lessons, and it's about karma. And so we have to regroup sometimes. Like if we just look at, here's another funny little, hold on, let me do this for a moment. Let's see. There we go. Justice. Well, I might as well, no, actually I like this deck better. Justice, Hanged Man, but I can show you that one too. And then Death. Now, we had the Death card earlier in the week, and I love that. In this deck, the Death card is beautiful. It's actually Death Rebirth. But in this deck, well, let's go this way. Just look at sequentially, because the Major Arcana cards are gateways into levels of personal evolution on Earth. And so this is a very karmic card because it's a law of cause and effect. And this is where, life is fair. And we have to surrender to that fact. And once we do, we can advance spiritually. This card is about listening to that little voice inside, or it sounds like a little voice, but it's actually your inner wisdom. And if we don't follow it, if we don't follow our inner voice, then our transition towards the next ego death is going to be held up. To me, the Death card is just about ego death. Nothing more than that. I mean, unless it's with some of the other swords cards, it's never a physical death. This is a gateway of transformation. It's a transitory gateway that you go through and you let go of things that don't work. Because the following card, we're going to have we're going to have the card that represents the law of mutual reception with the Temperance card, which is all about balance and harmony and self-control. So that was a tiny little lesson there. And let's bring this back the way it was. And I think that the guidance really for the spiritual lesson, the meaning coming through, is really just about take heart. It's just a small delay. And to get back in touch with your own essence, your own authority, and surrender to that. Surrender to the voice within. That life always keeps moving forward. Even if you've lost a loved one, or you're worried sick about somebody who is ill, surrender to just the love that you have for them, or not just, it is the most important thing. Surrender to the love that you have for them and do your best, and don't worry, because putting worry on them doesn't help them. Just give them your love and validate their life force, because it's the miracle of the life force that is alive and well within every cell of our bodies, that can turn everything right back up and turn everything straight back up and get it going in the right direction. Sometimes we're just clearing out some piece of, soul substance that needs to be transformed. And then everything flows freely again. So it's that, surrendering to that process. So, okay, I think that's it. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll be back for Sundays very soon. Okay, take care, you guys. Bye.